When Eric asked me to give my testimony, he gave me a subject which said, "Can you describe a moment when God met your obedience and empowered you to be bold beyond your own strength?" With key scripture verses in Ephesians and Romans. A number of things popped into my mind, and I'm sure, like you and me, we have all had such moments. Being obedient to God isn't always easy. The one overriding moment that stands out for me more than any other is when I was called to be a missionary. Most of you will remember, and for those who don't, I spent 3 years in Tanzania, East Africa, working for the army as a missionary. While I did obey God's calling, lots of questions popped into my mind. Why me? What have I got to offer? I can't do that. How can I leave family and friends and move thousands of miles away to live in another country? God was asking me to also give up a career and a job that I loved. I was full of questions. I was scared, nervous, and anxious. I was being asked to do something completely out of my comfort zone. But I knew I had to do it. Following all the paperwork and the medicals and the planning and the vaccinations and the rest of everything, off I went. I knew I couldn't and wouldn't be able to do this without God giving me the strength, which of course he did. Strength and power that I had never experienced before. Just because God had called me didn't mean that everything in Africa was going to be rosy, and of course it wasn't. I was reliant each day on God to give me the strength required for each and every task. My 3 years in Africa are years that I will never forget. I learned a new language, new skills, did things I would never ever have dreamed about. I grew in my spiritual life and learnt such a lot about myself. I thank God for giving me the opportunity and the strength and the boldness to go, and the great experience which was mine. If you say yes to God, great things happen.